The more things change, the more they remain the same. And we must speak as a country, and we must really define what exactly is our position. Today, I am wondering whether the our president and the State House team, and I'm trying now starting to accept that William Ruto's presidency has been captured by the dark forces, and his enemies are the people around him. Ladies and gentlemen, there is this organization, this group known as the Petroleum Outlets Association of Kenya. The Petroleum Outlets Association of Kenya are telling us something I want you to listen to. So just stop whatever you're doing and sit around and listen to this, because I don't want you to miss this. Remember the government to government deal? I have been so vocal about it. The government to government deal on importation of oil in the country. It was largely praised. It was highly praised by the president as one of the best things that has happened in this country. And the president was on record telling us that apart from it helping us to manage the prices of fuel, it is also going to help this economy by reducing the pressure on the demand for the dollar. Because nearly 28% of the dollar demand in this country goes for importation of fuel. So the government to government deal that they entered with between Kenya and the United Arab Emirates, the UAE nation, the Dubai nation, was supposed to ease the demand for dollar, because within the next 6 months, we are going to import oil from the three multinationals from Saudi Arabia, from Dubai, to Kenya without paying. Then after 6 months, we shall start paying. It's some sort of a credit. And, I remember the president was in ICC saying that that's the best thing that has happened. It is a concept that came from, I don't know, David Ndii, the head of EPRA, and some other state officials. Now, this organization is saying that Kenya has even lost. And what Kenya has lost is this. Kenya has lost to Uganda because, remember, the port of Mombasa is an entry point of oil to other East African countries. That is Sudan, Sudan, Uganda, Rwanda, and DRC. These three countries, Kenya is a transit market to them. So that means that those oil marketers pick oil from the port of Mombasa. Now, because of that, oil marketers from those other three countries have ditched the Mombasa port, or rather have ditched Kenya as a transit market and have moved to Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. So Kenya has lost because these oil marketers, because of that government to government deal, they have decided that it is detrimental to their business on the other end, and they have now moved from Mombasa port or from Kenya as a transit market to Dar es Salaam. And that is how Kenya has lost business to Tanzania. Did we even think when we were coming up with the government to government deal, were we pragmatic on the ramification of that to the oil market in the region? Did we really think about it? I listened to that and I was like, what? Now, didn't we see that? And I want to tell you, one of the dangers, one of the problems we have as a country is we have a bunch of people and experts that convert their thoughts and their opinions into policies and rules with little or no public participation. If State House team would have brought together all the other players in the oil sector, I'm very sure we wouldn't have gotten to this. If this organization, this Petroleum Outlets Association of Kenya, if they were consulted by the people that were the vision bearers of this government deal, maybe they will have warned Kenyan government on it. Now, desperately, Chirichir, the energy CS, has tried to avert the losses by plans to build more ships to allow on exportation to other countries. You know, number one, this is what is going on. No? When we get into government deal, we are borrowing. Now, because we are borrowing, we cannot benefit from economies of scale. It is very realistic. It is very logical that if you are borrowing, if I'm giving me on credit, I might have some capping in terms of how much I can give you. Because I'm borrowing, you are borrowing, I cannot give you a lot. So we've lost the economy of scale. Because we are borrowing, we cannot have a lot. But there is something that you're not being told. Let me tell you. The government-to-government deal is working in the sense that some 3 oil marketing companies in this country were the ones that were given tender directly. You know, the tendering was not done open as the international demand would need. It was done, it was a closed tender. So 3 companies were given the tender to import oil from Dubai. And after they import oil in this country, now the other 96 oil marketing companies are supposed to buy oil from the 3. People who follow the bold know very well this thing because I've been trying to educate you and inform you on what is happening. So the 3, that means that after the oil importers from Rwanda, DRC and Uganda must buy oil from the 3, because according also to the policy is there is no any other this country, other oil marketers is not allowed to import oil from any other country apart from that deal. So that is the only source of our oil and petroleum products for the next 6 months to 1 year. Now we've gotten into it, and you know what the other guys are saying, that apart from Kenya losing that Tanzania deal, that deal to Tanzania, the oil importers are also saying that what Ruto said on easing the demand for dollar has not worked, and it has not reduced the demand for dollar for them. So they still need the dollar, and Tanzania seems to be having a very good oil reserve, a dollar reserve. They're having dollar reserve because if you look at I think, you know, dollar is not only used for importation of oil, it's the international trading currency. So the more your country imports more goods, the more you're using more dollars. So Tanzania seems to be reducing a bit of their imports on other goods, and that is why they have bit of dollar reserves, even though the other day Sonu was also complaining. So one thing they have done here is government thought that if they do government to government deal, there is going to be less demand because the oil marketers can buy the oil from the 3 multinationals using the Kenyan shillings, but the oil marketers are saying they have failed to. Number 3, they are moving to Tanzania because our oil is expensive. That's what they're saying. That in Kenya, oil is retailing at a higher price compared to Tanzania. We've done to government, but still we're retailing high. I am not shocked. Our taxes are high. And they're even running, secondly, they're even running because of the 16% VAT. We've imposed 16% VAT on the petroleum products. It's already a clear indication that if the price is high, it's still going to be high. So they're saying, we on the other end thinking we are collecting money, but we're chasing investors. That is money that has been lost. I don't know that it was part of the economic recovery. We've lost money, that's the truth. And whether we want to believe, we want to accept it or not, we made our blunders, and it might be, there is a need for us to correct our wrongs. Now, the details the retailers are saying they cannot. My key, that is why South Sudan is coming out boldly to tell President William Ruto that we don't want you to be in our mediation. You know, it's some diplomatic rudeness to tell Kenya that we don't want your president in that mediation table. South Sudan have said no. And I realize that one of the reasons where wamepata hiyo kichwa ngumu ya kuambia Ruto we are not coming is because they're getting alternatives. I may not be shocked to realize that even they might move to the port of Djibouti or Ethiopia or even that of Tanzania and leave Kenya. This should not be something to be taken lightly, because The Dubai deal that we have projected as something in the interest of the people could have just been an inside business. Deals happen apale. It could have been, I'm not saying it is, but it could have been, because the pieces are falling apart. At the rate at which the pieces are falling is very worrying. What is happening is not what we expected. If you're losing business to Tanzania, then that means it is not for us. There is a high likelihood that even President William Ruto knew very well that we are going to lose, there was losses that were coming, we were going to lose business. But if they opted to do it, whether we are losing business or not, now, before that distraction, ukishutu huku kuna distractions hapa na pale, so just have to bear with me. The Dubai deal was an inside business, and people could have known very well that even this country could lose that money. But because it's a business, you don't care. I think we got it wrong. Now, I don't know. President Ruto must fire the incompetent people around him. These people, and that is why I started by saying that those who are even not helping this country are those around William Ruto. You must fire those people. I don't believe that Ruto knows everything. No. They're just around, there's just a clique of fellows that are posturing as economic advisors, because they've known very well that one of Ruto's biggest headache is the economy. So there is a clique of fellows that are not just around confusing the president here and there. Let's do this, it's going to help. Let's do this. There is a lot of paper, a lot of theory, policies that are being done without a practical assessment. We are losing our position in this region. Even Kenya is, in among the East African member countries, Kenya is the biggest. Kenya is Kenya is the epicenter of development here, is the hub. But the more we lose business to our neighbors like Tanzania, the stage of the country is going down. I don't know whether William Ruto will want to go to history as the president that lost the value of this country. We have competition here locally from Tanzania, Uganda. The other day, so when we were reading budget and we were talking about reducing debts, even Museveni, East African countries, the budget is normally read the same day, by the way. I know if you don't know, the budget, your East African countries done the same day. I don't know why. It's in some sort of integration, the spirit of that integration. So Museveni was also talking about reducing the debt. I don't know who is copying who, but that's the point. We cannot lose business to Tanzania because of a clique of few fellows that misadvised the president. I don't know. You're going to spend money to get more ships? Is it going to redeem? No. And this will be one. We need to rethink the strategic positioning of the country in respect to our transit market. We're a transit market not only for oil, for many imports going to those countries. Oil is just one of them. If we cannot arrest the situation, Kenya is going to lose its transit market to the other East African member countries, the other landlocked countries. We need to capitalize on the fact that we are that transit market. And that is why you realize that when there is this protest and the Busia border is locked, quite a number of businesses is normally lost. We need to think big. Otherwise, on this one, I'm a bit disappointed. It's true. The truth is, we are a bit disappointed in the country.